Alright, what's up, everybody? Today, I'm bringing you an action-packed, guns-blazing movie that's, let me tell ya, totally off the hook. The movie kicks off with two cop cars chasing a stolen container truck, supposedly packed with washing machines. But plot twist, it's actually just a front for smuggling drugs. One of the criminals, Mia, is driving, while her boyfriend Charlie is navigating. The cops are hot on their tail, tearing through city streets, causing chaos and a ton of car crashes. As they're about to hit the highway, the cops have no choice but to open fire to stop the truck. This forces two crooks in the back of the container to toss a washing machine out to slow down their pursuers. But it ends up seriously injuring a cop, who's probably not gonna make it. Witnessing this, Vincent, head of the anti-drug squad, is furious. Meanwhile, our main guy, a detective named Walker, is out doing some last-minute Christmas shopping for his daughter while on duty. At the same time, he catches a news report that government prosecutors have dropped their investigation into mayoral candidate Lawrence Beaumont. Done shopping, Walker calls his ex-wife to say he's swinging by with a gift for their daughter. But she shuts him down, saying she doesn't want him seeing the kid and that she's struggling to pay the bills. Walker offers to help, but she flat out refuses. "I don't need your dirty money." See, 2 years ago, Walker was the top dog in the narcotics unit, but greed got the better of him. He started stealing and reselling drugs with 4 of his colleagues. Everything changed when he accidentally injured an undercover cop, who later died. Haunted by guilt, Walker quit the drug squad and, a year later, left his family. That's why his ex wants nothing to do with him. Meanwhile, Walker's new partner, Ellie, is questioning a guy after hearing a loud noise from his house. The guy tries to play it cool, saying nothing's wrong, but when she peeks inside, she spots a woman who looks like she's been beaten up. During a scuffle, the guy tumbles down the stairs. He accuses Ellie of pushing him, but she denies it. Walker, though, is ticked off at Ellie for not following his orders to stay in the car. Elsewhere in the city, after their escape, the criminals are arguing about the mess they're in. One guy says he only signed up to steal the truck, not to get involved in hurting cops. But Charlie, the crew's leader, reassures him, saying he'll take all the heat if things go south. He reminds them this whole gig was to help Mia pay off a debt to a triad boss. As night falls, Charlie and Mia take the stolen drugs to meet Ching, the kingpin's right-hand man, and are led down to a basement beneath a restaurant. The boss is in the middle of chowing down on some crazy 40-meter-long sausage dish when he has to stop to take the drugs. Meanwhile, a van pulls up outside. Ching gets a text and suddenly dips. The criminals outside spot this and try to warn Mia. Suddenly, gunshots ring out, and a guard goes down. Back with our cops, Ellie tries to make small talk, asking Walker if he bought any Christmas gifts for his daughter, but he's not interested. Then, they get a call over the radio about a shooting in a restaurant basement. At the crime scene, Walker and Ellie are told the suspects used the service stairs, went through a diner, and then bailed in a car. Walker's a bit stunned looking at the scene, imagining the chaos of the attack. He snaps out of it when an officer mentions a cop was hospitalized during the highway chase. This is news to Walker, nobody told him. The officer says, "I thought someone told you," but Walker's like, "Nope, first I'm hearing of it." Right after, Ellie shows Walker CCTV footage of the suspects, including Charlie and Mia. He zooms in and sees Mia holding a handgun, but there are no casings of that type at the scene. Based on the wounds, he figures only assault rifles could have done this. They also find a blood trail near the stairs. Walker tells Ellie to check every ER in the area because a suspect might be injured. Later, Walker visits Lawrence Beaumont, the mayoral candidate. Beaumont thanks him for helping him dodge the prosecutor's investigation, but Walker drops a bombshell. His son, Charlie, was caught on security camera during a botched drug deal. Lawrence insists his son isn't a bad guy and begs Walker for help. Walker refuses, saying Charlie stole from a rival gang, and they're out for revenge. When begging doesn't work, Lawrence resorts to threats, warning that with one call, he can have Walker and his old crew locked up for life. Turns out, Beaumont had previously helped Walker cover up a murder he was involved in. With no other choice, Walker reluctantly agrees, but on the condition that Lawrence never contacts him again. Meanwhile, the triad boss's mother has flown into the US after hearing her son died. Ching greets the big boss lady, but without a word, she pulls out a gun and sends a few guys around her to an early grave. Then she coldly issues an order, find who killed her son, or pay with their lives. Walker tracks down the restaurant guard, who was shot, at a shady clinic to get some info. But the guy only speaks Cantonese, so Walker can't understand him and needs the doctor to translate. The guard claims he didn't see Charlie, only 3 guys in hockey masks who did the shooting. Frustrated, Walker leaves and heads to the hospital, where he runs into his old colleagues from his former unit. Vincent mentions he heard Charlie was the one who stole the truck and got their buddy hurt. He tells Walker he knows he has to help Lawrence, but that doesn't mean Charlie gets a pass for hurting a cop. Walker stays silent. He excuses himself and goes into his friend's hospital room, where he finds his friend's wife. She tells him her husband is stable. She also shares, "My husband always looked up to you. He was even thinking about leaving narcotics to join your homicide team." She also reveals that before surgery, her husband said something cryptic, that all 5 of them were in deep trouble, but Walker had sorted it out. Just then, the doctor calls Angie, the wife, out for a private chat. Our main guy's mind flashes back 2 years. After taking down a suspect, Walker realized the man was actually an undercover cop trying to bust drug dealers. Walker wanted to get him to a hospital, but Vincent refused, saying the whole team would go to jail if the cop exposed them. Then, Vincent finished the guy off. Elsewhere, Mia contacts her uncle to get fake passports. He's furious she's on the gang's radar and tries to convince her to ditch Charlie for her own safety, but she refuses. He then gives her a phone, saying he'll call when the passports are ready. Back at the station, Ellie tells Walker they found a piece of a hockey mask at the scene. Walker tells her he found the restaurant guard, but he didn't give up any useful details. Then his eyes land on a picture of the Triad boss's mother. He asks who she is. Ellie explains it's Clarice Fong, her son just got whacked, so she brought a crew with her for the funeral. As they're talking, the captain calls Walker over and chews him out for keeping Charlie's name from the security footage quiet. Then, she reassigns Ellie to work with another team on this case. Feeling betrayed, Ellie storms off, and Walker hurries after her. She asks why he doesn't trust her. He apologizes, not very sincerely, and asks if she found anything on Mia. After hesitating, Ellie reveals Mia is at a junkyard in the city. Meanwhile, Triad members ambush Lawrence's car in broad daylight on a busy street, slaughtering his entire security team. One goon opens the car door and tosses him a phone. On the other end, Clarice says she swears to avenge her son's death. Then they grab Lawrence and take him away. Over at the junkyard, Walker shows up. Mia's uncle spots him, recognizes him, and rushes inside to hide the passports. But Walker finds them and demands to know where Mia is. Raul, the uncle, insists he doesn't know and tells him Mia is his niece and she's innocent. Walker tells him if he wants Mia to get out of town safely, he'll need his help. After some reluctance, the uncle reveals he's supposed to text Mia when the passports are ready. Walker then sees cops arriving and warns the uncle not to say a word about their conversation. He tells the uncle to unlock the phone. Suspicious, the uncle asks who he is. "I'm a cop." Walker flips, pulls his gun, and orders the uncle to hit the deck as the cops move in to arrest him. Elsewhere, Clarice asks Ching where he was the night her son was murdered. He lies, saying he warned the boss not to deal with Charlie, but he ignored him. Clarice then points to an image from the footage and asks who it is. Ching recognizes Mia, Charlie's girlfriend. He explains the boss caught Mia stealing one of his cars, so he was holding her as a debtor. Just then, a guard announces someone's here to see them. Turns out it's one of Charlie's crew. Scared of being hunted down, he confesses he was just waiting outside the restaurant that night and had nothing to do with it. He offers Mia's location in exchange for his safety. A few hours later, on a train, Mia gets a text she thinks is from her uncle, but it's actually from Walker, setting up a meeting at a city bar. When she realizes she's been tricked, she tries to bolt. But Walker stops her, saying he's a cop and works for Charlie's father. Mia refuses to talk, and even starts cussing him out, until she spots the guys who attacked them that night just walking into the bar. She points them out to Walker, saying they're the real killers. Turns out, it's Vincent, Jake, and Harold, his old buddies from the narcotics squad. Vincent calmly approaches and tells Walker to hand over Mia, saying she's a suspect who needs to be detained. But before anything else can happen, members of the Triad storm the bar. Everyone's after Mia, and all hell breaks loose. Before the dirty cops can even draw their guns, these young gangsters pull out knives and makeshift spears and start tearing them apart. Walker jumps into the fray, fighting off Triad members and chasing Mia, trying to keep her safe. Mia's no slouch either. She grabs a weapon and dives in. It's an absolute bloodbath, gore everywhere. Seriously, this movie should probably be R-rated for kids under 18, the blood is intense. In the middle of the fight, Charlie and his crew show up. Mia wants to run to her boyfriend, but Walker steps in and tells Charlie, "You're coming with me, your father's looking for you." Charlie doesn't listen until Walker points his gun at Mia as a threat. Gunfire erupts. The group escapes into a back room. Vincent sees this, gets up, and chases after them, while his partner gets diced up by the gangsters. Mia's uncle, trying to protect her, sacrifices himself to block the path, pushing her out of danger before the Triad can grab him. Charlie quickly pulls Mia to safety, and the three of them barely manage to scramble to a car and use it to escape, but they're still getting shot at relentlessly. Miraculously, they get away. As usual, the cops only show up after all the shooting's done. Later, Ellie gets a call from Walker. He finally tells her the whole truth. Vincent and his team were the ones chasing the truck to steal the drugs, and they're responsible for the Triad boss's death. Ellie tells Walker one of Vincent's guys is dead. Hearing this, Walker urges her to go to the hospital. He believes his friend in the hospital isn't involved and might be in danger. Meanwhile, Ching gets a call from Vincent. The truth comes out, Ching has been tipping Vincent off about all the drug shipments. Vincent and his crew would then rip off the drugs and sell them back to Ching, who would then sell them to his own clients. Vincent tells him he's now recovered the drugs Mia and Charlie stole. However, Ching says he doesn't want them anymore because things are too hot. Ching also gets angry, blaming Vincent for not stopping the truck or Mia sooner. He hangs up, he's at the hospital, preparing to tie up loose ends. Not only that, he's planning to take out Vincent and his crew because he doesn't want the boss lady to find out he was involved in the old Kingpin's death. Meanwhile, Ellie arrives at the hospital and asks for Walker's friend's room. As the receptionist checks, Ellie glances at the security monitor and spots Ching with a gun. She immediately sprints upstairs. But he's one step ahead. By the time she gets there, Ching has already taken the wife hostage. Cornered, he starts shooting like crazy, trying to escape. Ellie returns fire. A tense shootout follows, but she eventually wounds him. Then she cuffs him and drags him to her car. Meanwhile, Walker, Charlie, and Mia make it to Walker's remote cabin by the lake. He quickly checks everyone for injuries. Then, he takes a moment to call Lawrence, telling him he sent him their current location, completely unaware that Clarice now has Lawrence's phone. She just listens silently. Walker gets no response, and a chill runs down his spine. He realizes he's given away their location, but it's too late. Clarice and her people start heading for the cabin. Over here, Ellie visits Walker's ex-wife and asks why he isn't answering his phone. But his ex says Walker isn't there anymore, he's probably at the old cabin by the lake. So, Ellie uses Ching, forcing him to call Vincent and say there's a deal for them, money for drugs. When they arrive, Ellie steps out of the shadows with a shotgun and gets the drop on all of them. Back at the cabin, Walker knows a fight is inevitable. He preps carefully, putting on a bulletproof vest and loading up on guns. Knowing this could be their last stand, everyone mentally prepares for the worst. Moments later, a massive wave of enemies attacks, showering the place with bullets. A brutal fight kicks off as Triad members storm the property. Walker's group refuses to give up, fighting for their lives. At first, they hole up in the cabin, and anyone who rushes in gets sent packing, permanently. With his police training, Walker is calm and professional facing the enemy. But there are just too many of them, wave after wave, relentless. They're forced to retreat, fighting their way out. Walker alone has to take on a mob of Triad guys. Just when he's about to collapse from exhaustion, a female assassin appears and beats him down before he can even catch his breath. But he finally takes her out with a grappling hook, then collapses, spent. Meanwhile, Charlie and Mia are captured by the Triad. Lawrence and Clarice have also shown up. Clarice coldly approaches Lawrence, telling him his son took the only thing she ever loved. Then she hands him a gun and tells him to take the only thing his son loves in retaliation. Charlie, helpless, screams for his father to shoot him instead. Right in the nick of time, Ellie bursts in, speaking Cantonese, telling Clarice she's got the wrong person. Ching was the one pulling the strings all along. He doesn't even try to deny it, just cops to the truth. After their old leader died, he should have been next in line, but Clarice made her son the heir. Jealousy and resentment made Ching betray everyone. Suddenly, Vincent's remaining partner lunges, grabs Ellie's gun, and points it at Charlie. Lawrence throws himself in front of the bullet, sacrificing himself to save his son. Walker, having come to, grabs a rifle and opens fire. Another massive firefight erupts. Guns blaze, flashes light up the scene, and people drop like flies. In the chaos, Ching grabs a gun and shoots down his own boss lady, Clarice, but then Vincent sends him to Kingdom Come. As Lawrence is dying, he tells Charlie he's proud of him. "You're a man now. Take care of the one you love." Over here, Vincent's partner is trying to kill Ellie, but at the last second, Charlie jumps in and takes him out, avenging his father. Vincent, now in possession of the drugs, tries to escape by train. But Walker's on his tail. He calmly squeezes the trigger, stopping Vincent's escape. Vincent smirks. "They all know what you did." Walker's still calm. "I'll face the music, no more running." He aims his weapon. "And you're the last one left." Vincent fires, but Walker's quicker. He takes him down, ending it all. In the end, Mia and Charlie, with new passports, drive off in a van to start a new life. Meanwhile, a badly injured Walker is sitting on the train tracks. He confesses to Ellie. "You're a good cop. Do what you gotta do." Ellie says she'll help him bring the Christmas presents and explain everything to his daughter. But Walker refuses, saying he doesn't want to ruin her Christmas. And that's a wrap. This is that action thriller that just dropped on Netflix a few days ago, titled Havoc.